A trial date is set for January 5th, 2026. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy joins us to break it all down. Andy, you're not a fan of this indictment. I'll just start with that. But James Comey charged, prosecuted, and convicted Martha Stewart of the exact same things that he is charged with: lying to investigators and obstruction of justice. And she went to jail. She went to prison for 5 months and then had 5 months of home confinement. So is he just getting what he served up?
I don't think so, Dagan. And I want to be clear. I prosecuted people for false statements and obstruction of justice. I'm not against false statements prosecutions or obstruction of justice prosecutions. I think in this case, you have a situation where professional prosecutors, one of whom was selected by President Trump, looked at this and didn't want to bring the case, was fired for it. The president publicly dressed down the attorney general, and then they brought the charges. And if you read the indictment, it really doesn't state an offense. And evidently, the government hasn't shared with the defense such key things about the indictment as, who person one is and person three is. I'm all for prosecuting anyone who makes a false statement, particularly under oath. That's not my problem. My problem is with the way this indictment is articulated.
So, non-lawyer question for you, Andy. You don't like the indictment, it's weak. Assuming the judge doesn't dismiss this, and I know you think that the judge might dismiss this, it goes to trial. Is there anything that the prosecution can do at trial to strengthen it and increase the chances that you might actually get a conviction out of this?
Brian, it's a very interesting question. Most of the time, what I would say in response to that is that in a normal case, the government could go back to the grand jury and supersede the indictment and fix it, any defects that might be there. In this instance, they waited till the expiration of the statute of limitations. They were virtually at the very end of the line before they indicted. So that complicates their ability to go back to the grand jury and try to fix any defects, because now it's time barred. And the law is if you make a substantial change in an indictment after the statute of limitations is run, that's not something you can do. The court may let them cure whatever defects with a bill of particulars or other discovery. The problem I see is that if after 5 years, they couldn't, in a very straightforward way, articulate exactly what it is that he lied about, it's difficult for me to believe that they're suddenly going to come up with that between now and January 5th.
I want to move on to this, Andy. President Trump hosted a roundtable today on Antifa as left-wing violence continues to spiral around the country. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Under the Trump administration, we're going after Antifa criminals, and all who fund and support their campaigns are in serious trouble. It should be clear to all Americans that we have a very serious left-wing terror threat in our country. Radicals associated with the domestic terror group Antifa.
I know in the past you've written that designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization is not the move that you would make. But given the climate right now, is there any benefit to the president doing this?
I don't know that there's benefit for the designation, because designation is something we do for foreign terrorist organizations. And there's reasons for that have to do with Congress giving jurisdiction to our investigators to reach activity that takes place outside the country. It's not a problem with domestic organizations because we have plenty of laws for them already. They don't need to be designated. And I must say, I prosecuted terrorists in the 1990s before we had any of these designation laws. So I applaud President Trump for the fact that he wants to go after domestic terrorists, and there undoubtedly are domestic terrorists, where I just think this is a niggling objection maybe, but you don't need to designate them, just prosecute them.
Yeah. RICO, racketeer influence, criminal organization. Andy, great to see you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
Good night, guys. Good to see you.